Welcome to our Gallop TV on the line interview, and this is with trainer Sean Tarry. And I think firstly, let's thank Sean for his valuable time leading up to the main event, which is on Saturday. This interview recorded 24 hours later. And I think, firstly, Sean, thank you for your valuable time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dees. Only a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you're always forthcoming when it comes to the media, and we appreciate that. I know it's not the platform, but we'll have to, start off at the point of all those scratchings of yours. It's not the right platform to chat about it, but as a trainer and for your owners, it must have been very frustrating to scratch those four horses.
It was a tough thing to do, a bitter pill to swallow, but at the end of the day, there's no point, harping on the negatives. At the end of the day, that each individual owner has had to face their own challenges. I mean, for one in particular, it's an expensive move, but we can't argue with what's in place. We may not agree with it, but the bottom line is it can't be changed. So let's not waste our time fighting about it.
Yeah, it is all written, as I always say, and what will be, and we'll see where Sean races those horses next. Race number 6, your day will begin in the 6th race now, Sean, with your very talented sprinter called Thunderstruck. And he's already a 5-time winner from just 14 starts. He's shown the ability at the highest level. And last time out was a superb performance from him to lower the colors of the champion sprinter of last season, Isi Vungu Vungu. How's he doing back home now that he's had 2 runs in Cape Town, and the fact that he's, going to win 3 on the bounce?
Well, he certainly has settled in well and enjoying the Cape. At the end of the day, the challenge was always whether we could step back to the 1,000 meters or not. And obviously, his debut in Cape Town over 1,100, he broke the course record and certainly gave us confidence to give a 1,200 a miss and prepare him with another 1,000 going into this race, which he won and did really well. We under no illusion that Isi Vungu Vungu will come back as a fitter horse in the second meeting. But having said that, I can't hope for anything more in the way that his preparation has gone. He's in perfect order. He looks a picture. And, they're going to have to bring the A-game to beat him.
I just get the feeling, Sean, I saw him as a 2-year-old and as a 3-year-old. He was a superb horse, and he was just waiting for something to give. Would it be a fair comment from my side to say as a 4-year-old he's starting to blossom now?
He certainly is starting to blossom, but to be fair, we did try him over a little further and we didn't always have things in his favour, draws, etc., preps. So, he's got enough speed, he's strengthened up beautifully. He's quite a coltish boy, and that we've got to just stay on top of. But he certainly has blossomed as a 4-year-old.
Lovely, positive talk there about horse number 8, Thunderstruck. Then on to the reigning horse of the year, Princess Kella, and this is in the Mallorca Stakes, City of Cape Town Mallorca Stakes. It's called a premier 1,600 meter race for fillies and mares in the country. Now, we know all those wonderful memories and how well she did last season. What have you made of her this season, Sean? Because for us racing fans, she's making us wait for her first victory.
Yes, Dees. I will say that obviously the last run was very frustrating. However, if we go back to her first 2 runs, she was never planned to have her debut at Durbanville. It's just the way the cards fell. And, obviously venues were changed. And then obviously the dates changed of that particular race. And in terms of the second run, we were basically, forced to take on the boys in the green point for me to give her like a half decent prep. But we were under no illusion. We knew we weren't fully wound up. And, we took our medicine there, and she basically ran as we thought she would. We'd hoped she'd run second or third, but she ran fourth. So I'd say the only really frustrating part was her last run, the way the race worked out. She ended up behind horses, and then the decision was made that the race was too slow, and we went around horses, and we went early at the top of the straight. And, I think it was a tough task for her, giving away the weight and, having such a tough race. So I have to forgive her for that, because she was very gallant in defeat. And, I'm hoping we can set the record straight.
Yeah, I think that is the way I read it as well. Just the way the race worked out last time out, which was not ideally suited to her style of racing. Now that you're taking on, the filly that beat you last time out in Beach Bomb, and, a few others in the race that have some quality on their day, do you just leave this job to Richard Fourie, or do you plan now on how you're going to go about things, whether the pace is going to be on or not? Do you have plans in mind, or you just leave it to him?
Yeah, I have to leave it to Richard. I mean, obviously a top professional and leading rider this season, champion rider last season. So, well, not champion, but he did everything he had to do with winning all those group races. And, I can't tell him his job. At the end of the day, he's got to judge the pace, and I think it all comes down to pace. Obviously, healthy respect for the field, especially for the filly that beat us last time. The talent doesn't stop there. But at the end of the day, you're just hoping for a clear passage and a fair race, and I'm sure she'll give a very good account of herself.
When it comes to her well-being, would you give her a distinction, an 80 plus?
Yeah, most definitely. I can't have her any better than where she is, and obviously the same goes for Thunderstruck.
Okay, some nice talk there, and we're hoping that our reigning horse of the year can bounce back to her very best. Then on to this race, Sean. Well, you've got a ticket, don't you? Cape Racing Gold Rush, the richest race on the continent, 7.5 million rand. And you've got Tail of the Comet here, son of Gimme the Green Light. Well, that ready-to-run race, he certainly introduced himself in a big way to the Cape public and Cape Town racing. What you made of his form since?
Obviously we were very impressed by that run, because things didn't go well for him in the run, but he certainly finished it off in the manner of a good horse. Pretty much the way races have worked out for him. His second run was a good one. If you see, he got beaten by 2.5 lengths. Obviously, horses that were involved in the finish in the Guineas, and he was fighting in the race. He didn't settle, and I think he just did too much early in the race. The next run was pretty much the same. He ended up going forward, going to the front. I think he showed himself to be a very good horse from off them, and that seems to be his style. And I just think that maybe the pace of the first disappointing run, the way he was not settled, and then obviously electing to go to the front in the Guineas, I don't believe that helped his cause.
The equipment change with him, Sean, you just want to touch on that? I see it's been declared a compression mask and a tongue tie.
Yeah, well, as I've just said, that he did over-race in his penultimate start, and I didn't feel that he settled well enough in front last time. I'm doing both changes to assist him with settling in running, which certainly seems to have paid dividends at home. But you're only going to get your true test on race day. That's the gamble we've taken. If it's right or wrong, we'll only find out on Saturday. But I'm very, very happy with his preparation thus far.
I know that you are very thorough when it comes to all things racing. So you would have had a look at the opposition here. If I had to use the betting as a guide, Sean, they got number 10, Bavarian Beauty, from 7-2, that is shortened into 18-10. You are firm at around 22-10. And then it's pretty much, double figures the balance of the field. Is it the way the fixed odds betting market make this race a two-horse race, or you see it more open than that?
I do see it a little more open, but obviously they've got, I think, with the key protagonists are the top two. We have to have respect for the few horses that seem to have good stamina in the race. There's a lot of speed in the race, which might not help you in running if you've got horses stopping and coming back. But the bottom line is, I think they've got the key protagonists right, and the couple that do stay from the other yards, I do have respect for.
Okay, then we move on to your last runner, Sean, that comes up in race number 10. And this is the Stayers race. It's called the New Tough Carriers Western Cape Stayers. It's a Group 3 over 2,800 meters. And here you've got horse number 13, Nebras. And we know how good he is on his day. There is a line of form behind Future Swing with a lot of runners in this field. Before you even touch on your runner, Sean, I'd like to tell you that number 3, Aragosta, has been smashed in the betting from 3-1 into 15-10. And on that last start, well, you finished in front of him. Would you say that you were a touch unlucky that day, or, that's the way a horse enjoys racing, from off the speed?
Listen, I don't think he had the run of the race. I do think things could have gone smoother for him. He could have had a smoother passage. But having said that, he did finish the race off very well. If I'm not mistaken, Aragosta has got a pull at the weights with us, and that might be where the confidence is coming from, because obviously there wasn't much between them, and maybe things certainly didn't map out for Aragosta on the day. I do remember him looping the field and obviously compounding late. So I would agree he's a worthy favourite. He's the horse to beat. I think Mark did make it public knowledge that he had a wind-up that was successful, and he certainly seems to be benefiting from that. I believe he's the horse to beat, but we hopefully will give him something to think about.
Yeah, you're 100% correct with the weight turnaround. It is 2 kg, Sean. Number 13, Nebras. Would you make him, if you say Aragosta is the horse to beat, would you say that your horse could be a possible, exacta play if he doesn't win it?
Yeah, we'll be right there. We'll be fighting it out. It's just a matter of how the last bit of the race works out, and luck in running, etc., etc. But he's a massive runner. He's in the pink of health. He's enjoyed Cape. It's his third run here. Obviously, the extra 300 is only going to suit him. So I really don't have a negative besides the draw, and it's not a very big field. So, Gavin has ridden him a few times. I'm sure he's going to know him a lot better this time, and I'm sure he's going to run well.
Okay, you've got 4 runners on the day, Sean. For your followers out there, for the guys that are listening into this interview, it's a tough one, but if you had to single out one for them, or maybe 2, or you can't split them, which horses would you single out that are possibly, can be followed with some confidence?
I believe I've got 4 very good horses in the right races, in the pink of health, and you need luck in running. So to put them in order is quite difficult, but I think I would share the general sentiment of the public that we'd love to see Princess Kella get it right. I can't see why not, and I would probably lean towards her as my first selection. Thunderstruck, hot on her heels, but at the same time, if Kella the Comet gets it right, if the race pans out for him, and the right tail of the Comet shows up, and the equipment changes suit, there's a lot of ifs that I just mentioned, but if it all comes together, he's a massive runner.
Sean, in closing, I'm not going to say that you left it too late. It's the way the season worked out last season, but you created some very big excitement for us racing fans. towards the end of the season, and we know that, let's call it the first quarter of the season, you're usually warming up that engine. What you make of your first 6 months thus far?
As you say, it's certainly seems like the engine's warming up. We have been a little slow. Cape certainly hasn't helped my cause in that I brought some really nice horses and things haven't gone smoothly in the races. It hasn't happened to me for some time that I've had so many runners that haven't had a run of the race. If you think about Mrs. Geriatrics, Kella the Comet, Princess Kella, I mean, those are really good horses, and to be grumbling about the way races have panned out, it's not really the norm. So I think that may have just held my season back a little. And also in Joburg, we took time to get going. But you know what? It's a long season. We've only just passed the halfway mark, and hopefully we'll be able to finish strong again this season.
Well, to yourself and your entire team, on behalf of our Gallop TV team, we'd like to take this opportunity to wish you the very best for Saturday with all 4 of your runners, and thank you for your time, Sean.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
Oh, thanks to Sean Tarry for his input on his 4 runners, and to you, the valued racing fan, well, all you need to do now is figure it out, but he's given you some very good information on all 4 of his runners. And that is it, Sean Tarry's interview for On the Line. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gasly.